Hi, thanks for watching. James here from Linode. I'm here at Kubecon Valencia. We're sat here just having a morning chat, and I thought let's just spin up the camera and share this conversation with the viewers. We're talking about where MSPs can fit in and where the opportunity lies for MSPs in the not just in the Kubernetes space, but in the sort of generally in the sort of DevOps applications management, platform management world. So we started off saying, okay, well, we know there's been a huge shift in applications that have run, that have been moved from on-premise deployments to the cloud. In some cases, in SMBs, that's just straight to a SaaS platform, and that's fine. They haven't got any custom applications. There's other companies that maybe have just moved their Windows infrastructure, for example. That's just gone straight lift and shift, and MSPs have now got that challenge of working out, okay, how do I optimize and sort out the security side of things. But there's also a large number of businesses that have custom applications, I guess in our cases, ones that are Linux-based, that have either developed an application in-house or they've worked with a development firm. And that might be running on a server in-house. They don't want to manage tin anymore. We know that's not time well spent. It's taken away from the business. The developers don't really want to be managing the platform either. They want to be concentrating on making applications that do their job properly. So it's my view that there's a really good opportunity there for an MSP to come in and say, hey, I can manage that platform and take this hassle away from you guys. And that's a conversation, right? So how do they go about doing it, and what are the considerations? We're talking Kubernetes, so should we start there?
Yeah. So, the first thing is the MSPs are already doing that in the cloud space. They're already managing cloud servers, right? Because like you said, the developers just want to work on their application, or for just a lot of SMBs, they want to focus on their business. They had somebody develop the application. They want somebody else to manage the system side of it. So there are already MSPs in this space. What I'm interested in is the crossroads between what they're doing a lot now in Kubernetes, specifically because if I'm an MSP in this space, I would want to take advantage of some of the tooling that the cloud has to offer that actually makes my life easier, makes it so I have to work less. Maybe I have to learn some new things, but in the long run, there's more automation, things scale simpler. And that's where I think Kubernetes is worthwhile to look into if you're an MSP.
And that, for MSPs, is the holy grail, right? We're looking to, in the nicest possible way, achieve the best possible recurring revenue with the least amount of input. Yeah. I won't say work, but input. So Kubernetes does that. It provides MSP a way of managing so we've got a scalable platform. Can you give us an idea about kind of some of the ways that it's efficient and the ways why they should be looking at that rather than other management systems, or give us a bit more detail on it?
Sure. So, let's start with just a really high level over what is Kubernetes, right? It's an orchestration tool for deploying and scaling apps and containers. An orchestration tool. That means all the moving parts under the hood are doing the majority of the work for you. You are defining things in YAML, which is short for yet another markup language, okay? And you are defining your desired state, how you want it to be, and you're letting something else do all the heavy lifting. Now, that is very high level, and to be fair, it is a learning curve at first. And especially if you're going to manage your own Kubernetes cluster, there are a lot of things to consider. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. There are different ways to approach security and so on. But what I find is that at the end of the day, this is really just something you set up, and then from there you feed it some YAML and it gives you the results you want.
You said something really interesting earlier on. I think some MSPs were thinking, okay, maybe I've got some sort of some experience in this area already, or maybe I haven't. But it all sounds very complicated and daunting. What was your statement earlier about mail servers?
Right. So Kubernetes might seem intimidating at first because it's an explosion of new information, and if you're trying to follow along with how everything ties together. But again, like I said, the orchestration piece, it's doing all of that heavy lifting for you. Okay, so in terms of the complexity, there's something new to learn. But what I was saying earlier is that if you've ever configured a mail stack before or had to troubleshoot one, which a lot of MSPs have done that, and a lot of them are trying to get the heck away from that now because they've banged their head against the wall so many times. If you've done that, you've done something way more difficult than manage a Kubernetes cluster.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, we'd like to think that's, for most of us, a thing of the past, hopefully. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're from Linode. We should talk about Linode's offering. So we have a Linode Kubernetes engine. It's a production-ready environment. How can MSPs use that, and why is that somehow better than coming at it afresh?
Well, right back to what we were just talking about, how there is a learning curve, right? And it can be intimidating and it can be a lot. And why am I doing this? And there are tools, there are Kubernetes engines, managed Kubernetes services like the Linode Kubernetes engine, or LKE as we call it, that make it really, really easy and simple to get started. So first and foremost, we have an amazing docs team. They have written a ton of great tutorials on how to use it. In fact, that is the biggest library in our docs site. Yep. It's just over all the different things you can do with LKE. Second, we manage the control plane. That's the beating heart of your Kubernetes cluster. That's the most important piece.
So we're talking a managed Kubernetes service here, aren't we?
Yes, a managed Kubernetes service where we manage the control plane, and all you have to care about is the worker nodes that actually run your workloads, which you're defining the state that you want them to be in those YAML files I mentioned earlier. You're applying it, and we're taking care of all the management, backups, all of the management, everything that's the whole control plane part of it. That's on us. We don't charge you for it. We handle that. And in addition to that, we make it easy for you to get up and started very, very quickly. So we are a Terraform provider. Terraform is a declarative infrastructure as code tool. You can define the state you want with that for your infrastructure, and it can deploy Kubernetes as well, and it can do it really, really fast. I've seen the same deployment on other providers that also have managed Kubernetes services, and it take onward 15, 20 minutes. With the Linode Terraform provider, we're talking about like 2 to 5 minutes at most. So it does it really, really fast. You have it up and running. You can start using it. You can use it in the Cloud Manager. We have a really to-use CLI tool. So it's just easy to use. So if you're an MSP and you're just starting to explore it, that's one thing that's off your plate is we made it simple so you can just get started, get testing, get comfortable with it. Look at our amazing docs library and get moving.
And of course, people, experts like yourself are on hand to speak to. So if you have Kubernetes projects, talk to us. Here's an opportunity for you to provide a platform both for your customers and perhaps to work in partnership with a development team, or maybe you have your in-house developers, but we provide you a platform to get started essentially. So talk to us about your projects, give us a ring. We're available at the end of the phone. It's one of the nice things about Linode. Regardless of your scale or size, you can just give us a shout and we can have a chat and talk further about it.
Yeah, and remember, if you've ever configured a mail stack before, you've done something more difficult than this. These tools will make your life easier, I promise.
Yeah, it's not quite as daunting as it sounds. So anyway, give us a shout and we'll hopefully have a conversation about it. We do a $100 free credit if you want to spin up a Linode instance. You can grab that from the website or speak to us and we can sort it out for you. So Billy, thanks a lot. It's been educational as always.
All right, thank you.
Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.